I had an opiate use disorder, and yet I was continued to be prescribed opiates, and of course wasn't saying no to that. I had no primary care doc who was staying on top of me. I was expected to voluntarily go to 12-step recovery, and I had a very busy job, not unlike everybody else, and it's no wonder people have a very difficult time maintaining anything like stability and sobriety. I was in treatment the first time at 17. I never really fully accessed treatment in the traditional sense, even though I had the reimbursement coverage, because while I was in Congress, I couldn't take that much time off. So when I would go to treatment, it was usually during a vacation, and I could never be away from my constituency more than a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I only got bits and pieces. The one exception is when I went to treatment after my car accident. But then it wasn't until after I left Congress that I was able to focus kind of more full-time on a daily basis, day by day, on my recovery, and that was the most conducive for me to get kind of the stability and long-term sobriety I have today. I don't think anybody's got any family member that's comfortable talking about this issue. And the mere fact that my family tried to keep this secret for so long, even though everybody knew about it, we still reacted as if it was a family secret. That's the real narrative of the story. The common struggle is the silence that accompanies any discussion about this issue within any family in America, and so it is a difficult issue to talk about because it goes to our sense of agency, our sense of are we able to make our own decisions, or are our decisions being made by dint of our mental illness? And the single characteristic of a mental illness is lack of insight. Lack of being able to identify that you've got an addiction that's going to kill you if you don't do something about it. The bottom line is we have to come up with a way to talk about it in our own families, because this is an illness that affects every single person in the family. And when one person suffers from addiction in the family, the whole family suffers. So I felt that it was important. My family was kind of a model for those with intellectual and developmental disabilities, because my Aunt Eunice opened up the conversation in the early 60s around my Aunt Rosemary having an intellectual disability. That was revolutionary at the time. I can tell you that was not well received at the time, because it was a source of great shame in my family. My grandfather never saw my aunt for the rest of her life after her lobotomy. My father's generation was, basically not to talk about it. And so this is the story now. And look at how far we've come with respect to Special Olympics, and which was really inspired by my Aunt Rosemary. And I just hope that each of us has a responsibility to try to do as much as we can to break the silence. It's not easy for everybody, but we can't expect our Congress, our president, to respond if they don't hear from people. And at the end of the day, we're a democracy, and the only way it works is if people speak up. But if we can't even speak up in our own lives, how are our members of Congress supposed to know how important this is to us?